back with part two. Candid Couch
Part two.
Conversations. Whoop
Yes.
whoop. And my mom, she's below me, but not really because she's my mom. So anyway, last episode we were talking about just like my personal journey with coming out. We talked about AJ's journey a bit, my mom's perspective. We talked about uh safety and boundaries. So today we're gonna pick up with advice. Like what advice? This is actually pretty cool because I don't have kids. But y'all do. So, what advice do you guys have for other parents or family members who may be navigating their own journeys with either transgender children or uh, transgender spouses, or you know what I'm saying? Any of the above.
Um, my advice would be to not be afraid to ask your questions because I think that is what separates so many families when it comes to having a transgender child or there be a transgender sibling or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask questions and ask them respectfully. Um, we appreciate that. We really, really do. And we don't mind answering your questions um, because we make sure to make each moment that you're learning a teachable moment. You know, if it's something that you're not sure about, ask. If it's something that you want to know, ask. Even if you think that it might offend us, ask. Just ask. The only thing that we'll say is either we'll answer your question or we'll say no, I choose not to answer that question. Like that's the worst that it will get. So I would say just ask your questions, be open to the responses, don't come with a narrow mind, don't come with your answer already predetermined and you just want to hear what the other person is going to say just to shoot them down with your own preconception of like what you think the answer should be.
Hmm.
Be open to receive what they have to say. Um, make sure that if you're please, if you're calling yourself an ally, make sure you're an ally,
Call
not
yourself an
just
accomplice. Like
right.
I'm like, okay, because like ally. Yes, but I like to use the term accomplice because I feel like there's this fine line of being an ally and then speaking for a group of people when you don't really know what you're talking about. Also, I think it's a difference in like you don't have to back everything up with a statistic. Like you can just say
So true.
like you don't need statistics. You could just say there are people. And then and then that's pretty much that. But sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I mean, yeah, but accomplice. That's funny.
A silent accomplice.
And make it sound like it's a crime, though. That's messed up.
No, it's I don't mean to make it seem criminalized because it's not.
Of course not.
But but no, I'm saying more so like understand that sometimes that means like just be careful of speaking up for and like advocating
Yeah,
more so.
yeah.
And sometimes that could look like being in like different spaces where you're having these conversations because of who you are, especially like as a cisgendered person, like especially like cisgendered males and like heteronormative male spaces, and then
Mm.
cisgendered women and heteronormative women like female spaces. It's like sometimes it just sounds like when you hear something, then you say like, hey, maybe not like let's not say that. Like, and if you get hit with why, you don't have to go according to this national blog that I was reading.
Oh my
You can just
God,
say like,
yes.
there are people.
I can't stand that.
Yeah.
It's like, do we really need the pie chart? Like,
No.
really? No.
One in every seven. I don't
Yeah,
shut up.
I don't care.
I don't even know the statistics. Like, Who were those people?
Oh my gosh. But
No.
man, but you know what? I would just be open. Don't
Yeah.
don't be closed off. Don't come out with an attitude. Like we don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Because the one thing we know as trans people is that when people come with an attitude toward us, especially if it's with a question that they have or a statement that they want to say, I've learned, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but I've learned that it's not about me. It's about them. They don't like the freedom that I have and that I feel being a trans person. So they want to project their hurt onto me by making me feel worse than they do.
Yeah.
So I know it's not about me.
Hmm.
That's why I tell people, listen, just come openly. Don't come in a mean or angry way. Just
Hmm.
be open and listen to what we have to say.
Yeah.
Whether you agree or don't agree, shake hands and we'll go our opposite ways. Like it's cool. I agree to disagree with many people, and we
Hmm.
still have great relationships. It can be that way. You don't have to agree with how I identify. You don't have to agree with my lifestyle, but you do have to respect me. I will demand that at
Yeah.
all times. So I would just say just come with an open mind.
For sure. Period. Mom.
Well, that was going to be my thing, but I think the openness should be from both sides. And so knowing that you're saying come with your questions, I think that you should be ready to answer them regardless of what they are. And if it seems to develop into an issue where you all are having a problem with communication about it, I don't think that it just needs to be dropped and never spoken of again. Perhaps everybody who's in a discussion needs to deal with a professional counselor versus, just calling somebody from the outside that referee. Because at the same time, you don't necessarily want everybody in everything.
Hmm.
um, so if you have that professional counselor in there, not only can they help you all deal with what it is that you all are dealing with and help you all to be able to communicate with each other, but then, they might also be able to help you all to deal with those outside entities that are going to come,
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
it's not just going to be between, that inner circle. It's going to
Hmm.
come from the outside as well.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, again, yes, be open with each other, because, the transgender person might not be the only one that's getting those questions and things like that.
Hmm.
So, the inner circle has to be, ready to deal with it as well.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll
Yeah.
say, and going with all this openness, I think allow the person to, like, kind of in the middle of both of you, like allow the person to open that door and not just assume that because I've disclosed this piece of myself to you means that I'm necessarily ready to hear all of the questions that you may have. Because I know it's, especially when something is new, naturally you want to be inquisitive and you want to be like, and what is this? And what does this mean? And what does that mean for me? And what does that mean for you? And when you went like all of that stuff, but it can feel very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And also just because uh they may not come to you right away, that doesn't mean that they're never going to. It's just something that takes, like we kept saying before, like it takes time. Like it took me time to get to this point. It's going to take other people time to also reach this point. It wasn't like we were navigating this from the beginning together. I spent years going back and, you know what I'm saying, like going back and forth and dealing with things and talking to therapists and all of this stuff. And I can't expect someone to just be ready to receive that because I'm ready to say it. So it's like it goes both ways, really.
Hmm.
Well, you had to prepare yourself to be ready to speak on it. And
Hmm.
the thing of it is at the same time when you all come out with that information and you provide it to the inner circle, you know, they might not be ready to discuss it right then.
Right.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, don't take their silence as rejection.
Yeah.
It's something that has to soak in for a minute. And yes, those questions will come. So again, that's something that you will eventually have to be prepared for. It might not come immediately
Hmm.
because
Mhm.
that's something that's just, come in their direction. But yes, just like you were saying, Taj, you had to go through counseling to even come out with it.
Hmm.
Well, when you came out with it, those people that you dealt it out to didn't have that counseling,
Right.
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So while you were ready to put it out there, those people weren't ready to receive it.
Right.
So you know, it
Yeah.
had to,
It
kind of
takes a
soak in a little
second.
bit. Yeah.
For sure. And that's why I had said before, like, I didn't necessarily come to you guys saying, like, this is who I am, these are my pronouns, and you have 90 days to get with it or get gone. It was very much just like, I'm very understanding that this is new and I know it's going to take some time, but just like over time, like, show some type of it's like some type of
Hmm.
effort, like some type of growth. Because to AJ's point, it's like, if I felt like if I not that if I didn't say that to you guys, but just more so for my own peace of mind, it's like I've said this, I've vocalized understanding. Now, if we get 5 years down the line and we're still, you know what I'm saying, we still have like all of this friction, then it's like, at what point is it just negligence? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Opposed to like, I'm really trying to work through this. I'm stumbling along the way, but see like there's
Hmm.
progress here opposed to
Yeah.
like 10 years later, we still having the same conversations. Like, what are
Yeah.
we,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
what's happening?
That's why
Uh,
I don't mind you making a mistake, especially when you instantly correct yourself. That I can deal with because it
mhm.
shows me that, oh, okay, you're trying
You're
that. Now you're
thinking the
correcting
wheels are
yourself.
turning.
You
Yeah,
know, instead of me saying, no, you said this, and then they go, oh, I'm sorry. Now it's just, oh no, I mean, I'm sorry. Let me do this. Let me say that again. You know, so that shows growth, and
yeah,
that I can appreciate. I do appreciate that. All
for
right,
sure.
for both of you,
It just
share
popped
one
up.
thing that you admire or love about each other.
Well,
So, so for me, I just that that's what I just love my child. I just, that's just never gonna change. Just like he said, my mom says BFF. That's how I feel about it too. We were in the situation where, of course, I had Taj I was 18. So you can kind of sort of say we grew up together, in a sense. So, still being in my mom's house, we were in the same room for a little while, all that stuff like that. And it's always just been me and my kids. But that right there was like my top dog, you know.
still
So
is.
yep, that's my top dog right there. And then I just love the fact that um he was taking the time to figure out what he wanted to do with his life, and he's a go-getter. So it's like this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to try my hand at, and I'm going to go do it. I'm going to get out there and do me, you know.
Oh,
And
empathy.
and it's like, you know, after that time in the military for a little bit, um, came back home for a short little time. And then once he left out the door for California, that was it. Did not come back here.
Hey, I visit.
Visit, yes, but not to live. And I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. Because if I could get away from here, I would too. Um, but yeah, I like the fact that um he just took off running and hadn't stopped.
My feet is tied, but we
Ooh,
gonna keep on
ooh.
running. See what the end's gonna be.
See what the end is gonna be.
One thing that I admire about my mom is I think I talk about this all the time. I think I told you this before too. I don't know. But I admire the resilience that my mom has because I think you had mentioned it before. There's other children. Although I'm the favorite, there are three that come after me, right? So there's multiple of us. I mean, there's one favorite, but multiple children. Oh
Mm.
my
Mhm.
There's also grandkids now. There's three of those. Huh. 2025, interesting year. But my mom was is a single parent. And has like I've seen mom, like she said, we grew up together. So I watched from being in my grandmother's house. I've seen her go to college and get her degree while I stayed with my grandma, which is why I have an old soul. And then we've moved out and we lived in our like in an apartment for a little while, but then we came back to my grandmother's house because she had the dream or the goal of buying a home and she was able to do that. And then I've watched this lady get car after car after car. Uh, just, just because she wants to. Not because nothing's wrong with it. It's just I want something else. And so, yeah, like I've seen the really high highs and I've seen the low lows. I've seen her cry, even though she tries to not to cry in front of us. I've seen times where like she didn't eat, but we ate. Like I've seen all of these things. And so just like watching my mom go through life, not just by herself, but with four kids, kind of puts in my mind like it's just me. I don't have an excuse. And I think that's where a lot of the like the go-getter mindset comes from is because it's just me. What's my excuse? If my mom was able to do it and she had four kids and other responsibilities and life to balance, and it's just me, you know I'm supposed to like like it's just
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
There's no
It
excuse.
is.
Yeah. And then also I'll say, I know we said before about me like moving out and staying gone. It's a mix of things, right? It is the I always wanted to see what else there was. Like I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and that is definitely a space where military people come to retire and everybody knows everybody. And it is not just Virginia Beach, it's all seven cities. Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth. Everybody knows everybody. You can go to Walmart and probably see about two, three people you know, and you'd be like, what you doing on this side of town? I don't know. Like it's like that's just the type of area it is. And while it's very homey, it's like there's more out there, right? So it's like I joined the army thinking that I was gonna get away, ended up in North Carolina. That's not far at all. So then I took the opportunity to go to San Diego and see what was in San Diego, and now I'm here in Chicago. Um, so it was like a personal thing, but also I watched my mom literally like scrape and grind and do all the stuff. So I'm like one less person for her to worry about. Let me get on my P's and Q's so she can focus on the other three. Like that's like the mix of the thing. So yeah, I'd say the resilience and I just love my mom because we cool and I have her face. Yes. Yes, you do. You stole it. You stole her face.
You should see my grandma. Then there's triplets on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because my daughter stole my face. So I get it.
Yeah.
I
So,
get
you know, I have to give her something in return. Wouldn't you hate to look at yourself and just see nothing? Like that's just that's just bad.
Oh man. Oh man.
And lastly, I'll say I admire how she's able to adapt to things because like I said, I and like she said, I'm the child that's like I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. I turned 18, I wanted a tattoo. I came to her, I said I was gonna get one, and she said, "You're 18, you do what you want." I said, "Okay." And then I got one. And then I said, I'm just gonna get them in places that can be easily hidden. And then I grew up and I got it in other places. I came to her and said, like, I'm joining the army. And she was like, "What?" "Yeah, I'm going in the army." And literally, I told her I'm going in the army, and probably like I was shipping out probably like 2, 3 months later. Like, I'm that type of when I make my mind up, how do we do it? Like, how do we do it? So
And so
I
that's
think
why
it's
the song plays on my phone when he calls. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
So yeah, like I've always come. I think at one point I was like, I'm gonna be a chef. Didn't do it. Like I'm gonna do this. Didn't do it. But when I started to do the things and like actually, she was just very like, okay, okay, all right. Well, I'm back in school. Okay.
I mean, who am I to stop you if that's what you want to do? I'm not gonna stop my children from doing what they want to do. Now, if it's illegal, we got a problem. But I mean, as long
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I
if
wouldn't
it's
tell you
if it's
that
to
that
better yourself, if it's to better yourself, you do what you got to do.
yeah, I wouldn't tell you about illegal stuff. That would make you a different type of accomplice.
Yeah,
And I knew
exactly.
I'm gonna have to
somebody got to
turn you
bail me
in.
out.
Uh-huh. All right. So my final thoughts on this topic is if you want to do something for trans people or for people in general, just do what Jesus does. Love unconditionally. Period.
Amen.
That's my final thought. Just love unconditionally. And you'll find that it helps you as well. So love unconditionally, regardless of who it is.
Yeah. I'd say unconditional love definitely starts with yourself. So look within and yeah, do the inside work and the outside work kind of just blossoms from there. Thanks, Mom, for coming on
Thank you,
and
Thank
Miss
you.
Shanna.
talking.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here, sharing the couch with us. We hope you come back.
You'll have me back. I'll come.
Yeah, we
Let me
got,
know
you
when.
know, we can talk about some things.
Of course we can.
Yes, indeed. You know, you from the
All
South, right?
day.
You from the South, right?
Yes,
We can have like a whole Southern conversation. I'm from
that's it.
Baltimore.
Well, you physically
I'm
show
from
up and
Baltimore.
y'all can
That's a whole different country. Like we're not even a part of the United States. Baltimore is a whole separate country.
Country.
But you know, yes, we want you to come back because we like having you around.
Well, I like being around. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Candid Couch Conversations. Please do us a favor, like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell. We'll come back with another video next month. Again, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. You can go to our Instagram page at Candid Couch Combos. You can hit us up there and we will most certainly answer any question that you have. Or you can email us. What's our email?
C3 at alpha omega kappa.org.
Yes. So if you have any questions and you want to hit us up by email, that is the email that you use, and we will answer your questions most assuredly. So again, thank you again for joining us on the couch. Until next time, be good, love each other, love yourself. We out.